I'll go find the link here.
Hey, what's up, everybody?
Oh, that was my
check out this haircut that I just got today. That's how we're going to start this press conference recap. Matt is going to
I'm gonna go get
some links going.
Get the link going here. Kurtz is gonna do the filibuster.
I think I may even filibuster while I tweet a link. Can I get a live link from this thing, Matt? Is it possible?
Let's see here. Share. You got a share button.
Share button.
There you go. Breaking the fourth wall for people here.
All right. All right. So we're about to do our press conference recap a day later today, but that's okay because we actually have more information this time around for you. So let's see. Live right now with at FUD Hall.
YouTube.
If you want to join
live with John Kurtz.
All right. So we today get to talk to assistants and a couple of players. For whatever reason, it's always turned into the wide receivers.
Yeah.
It's like Landry Jones. I almost blurted out to Landry Weber today when he walked right up to us.
Landry Jones?
I almost said Stanton. I was just like,
I've
Stanton,
done that, I think.
blah, blah, blah. And I was like, no, it's not Stanton, John. It's Landry. Like, how hard is that to remember two names? They're not anything alike, but I do it. So,
okay, I think I got it on the board.
Dalton Schoen was there also. So that's who we talked to. Then we got assistants. We got Colin Klein. We had Jason Ray, wide receivers coach. We had Buddy Wyatt, defensive ends coach. And we had Joe Kleinerman, the Clandy man, who I did not get a chance to talk to, unfortunately. So, Matt, what the Clandy man?
Yeah, man, he's one of my favorites. And I know I say that for everybody, but he really is. A couple of noteworthy things from Joe Kleinerman is he said it was possible that Will Jones could play this week, against Texas Tech. He was asked about guys.
Freshman.
Correct. Thank you. Asked about guys for the future, and that was the first name he brought up was Will Jones, and he mentioned Tyrone Lewis. Didn't actually specifically said he wouldn't be playing this week or anything like that, but he's doing well. Then moved on to some of the guys we've already seen, Jonathan Alexander, Jeremy Person, et cetera, for the future. But that was interesting. And then if you go watch, there's only one Kurtz missed. You got to go to mine or ours and watch him. It was cool. We got into some talks about how do they pass off receivers when they're in zone, like how do they do that communication, like how do they communicate when they're playing against a team that moves fast like Tech does? Do they have to sit in base or can they be more creative? And he was kind enough to talk about those kind of things. So I would say to go watch those because it taught me some stuff, and I think it's always fun to do that kind of stuff,
Buddy Wyatt talked about that too. He actually went out of his way to give a big shout out to the scout team for the job that they're doing because Texas Tech, I think, is tougher because it is so fast and they have to. He made the point that, like, for his defensive ends, pass rushing is by far the most taxing thing that a defensive lineman can do. And so it's hard to mentally keep in wanting to pass rush when Texas Tech is snapping it every 10 seconds over and over again. So it's a pretty tough game in particular, I think, for the defensive ends against Texas Tech because of that. Another interesting insight that I got, I'm just full of them today from talking to the assistant coaches, but I asked Buddy Wyatt about Jarrett Dagey, West Virginia's quarterback, and his ability to extend plays. And he said, hey, to be honest, we didn't respect enough the ability of Jarrett Dagey to extend some plays, in part because they just hadn't seen enough of him. There was not a bunch of film out there on him. Like, he made the point, so like Jet Duffy this week for Texas Tech, they know that Jet Duffy is somebody that can do that because they have a whole bunch of film. Jet Duffy was playing last year when I first jumped on board as the first official member of the Jet Duffy fan club. And so they know about that, but they didn't pay enough respect to Jarrett Dagey and the ability of his feet to do that last week, and that burned them. So there was some honesty today.
Well, and then I'll spoil one more. I mean, this is all from Kurtz too, but you talked to Colin Klein about the interception that Skylar Thompson threw. He talked to you about, or the one that ended the game.
Yeah.
And he talked to you with the very specifics about how Skylar climbed too far in the pocket. Again, you can watch Kurtz's video to understand that. But it's just really neat. We talk about getting these assistants. We're so appreciative of K-State letting this happen for a million reasons. But one is because you're going to talk about things at this level and learn a little bit more. And sometimes you're going to hear things from a coach as a fan you don't want to hear. You don't love to hear, to be honest, we weren't expecting Dagey to scramble as much. Or, Skylar. But that's the kind of stuff I think when you get to hear it and learn about it, it doesn't make the mistakes okay. But you start to understand that these are people and this is a football game. And there's things that we're going to learn that are different every week and not be ready for. And it can't be perfect. The NFL, you can practice a million hours and basically be ready for everything. In college, you can't. Right. So it's just neat to hear about. And it's not making excuses, but learning is always – I was going to say learning is fun. Man, that'd be corny to say, but
learning is
fun. I
kind
of said it. So,
well, here, let me just say it to everybody that's in here.
Yeah, maybe you say, like, hey, and while you type that, I'm going to pay attention.
Learning is fun. All right, so if you guys have questions, you can type them in where you just saw.
I have a cold brew. How's your cold brew?
My cold brew is great.
I was curious if you're going to be honest about your cold brew.
Nitro dark coffee.
Is that our friend?
That's my buddy Steve.
Yeah, we know him.
Yeah.
He's going to want to come be on the video and stuff.
Is he coming in here, though? Do you
Well,
think
it looks like he is.
It does look like he is, actually.
Yeah.
White on white uni Saturday? I don't think so.
There's no plans for it, but I mean they've broken their whole tendency from that this year. They were going to wear, white pants at least once during the regular season with gray helmets. If they were going to do it, this would be the last time they could. I sincerely don't know. You will probably see all whites at some point, though. And if it's not this weekend, I don't know what that leaves for you. And they're not doing it at home either. So,
no, that.
I mean, that's all I've got for you. So,
yeah. Good question, though, because they look really sweet on the recruits that have been wearing them. And, man, I'm so glad that they unleashed that on the recruits to get out there. By the way, a lot of those recruits were wearing the Cats helmet.
They were.
Just like I said. I
will say, I told Kurtz that my favorite that I saw, and I saw 90% Cats helmet. I think Jeremiah Harris was wearing the all whites with the with the white Power Cat helmet with just the script Cats on the front. And I'm like, and I'm not trying to start a debate again, but that's the best uniform I've seen. I love the all white with the white helmet with the Power Cat with the script Cats right there. It's like, come on, isn't that what everybody wants? Doesn't that cover every base? And it looks beautiful. If they wore those every game, I'd be fine with it. Start a new tradition. Some teams wear whites at home. Let's just do it. All whites, script Cats, Power Cat, bam, every game.
I don't understand why the weight on that. Why I don't totally get it. That should be the one that's out there. But whatever. The uniform thing has been all sorts of messed up. I was just hearing from someone last night about how talking to someone at the basketball game about how angry K-State was about the Cats helmet thing leaking because of Fanatics?
That was correct. It was Fanatics. Yeah.
So,
No, I'm not trying to. You're exactly right. They said wrong time.
Yeah, basically it got released earlier in the day than they wanted it to, and so that was a big screw up. K-State was really proud of how well they had kept that under wraps, and so they did not want that to get out there early. So the whole uniform thing has just been really
even the hoops one where the Rally House put a uniform out early there too.
You're right. Those Wildcats.
Yeah, they're really nice.
They are.
Yeah, but hey, that's the good news. Is even if the releases are things we don't love or there's mistakes here and there. At the end of the day, you got nice uniforms. You got a nice looking Power Cat. You got nice looking script Cats. You got nice looking Wildcats. At least you got them all,
That's true.
Yeah.
I hope that the uniform thing continues to happen because there is, of course, the crowd like the Mason Post of the world that will tweet the K-State Zone 4 in white helmets. But I was trying to make this point yesterday. Actually, maybe it was on the podcast that hasn't yet been released today that you'll see soon. But correlation and causation are two different things. Yes, there might be a correlation. The K-State is 0-4 in those white helmets since 2016. Yep. It's not causation, which is a completely different thing. It's not causing the players to lose.
I'll tell you what. I mean, I know there's a bubble in it, of not liking it and that being the fault. Well, hey, if people are going to push that, there's also a narrative that says let's just wear alternates until we win. So it's not. They're all great. I mean, let's just be happy about it, man.
Well, that might be the most
that's what I would do.
Interesting takeaway that we had from today. All the assistant coaches that we saw today were all wearing Cats gear. Like Colin Klein had the Cats hoodie, Jason Ray had the Cats polo,
buttoned up all the way to the top too. Which I asked. Let's look here on camera.
We are missing.
I mean, I know. I'm just trying to get the sense of it. I don't think so.
Jason Ray can pull it off.
Yeah, he looks really nice with it. Though. He also was drinking some juice today. He's trying to lose some weight.
Yeah, shoot. I was going to ask him. What did you ask him?
I did. I just what is that? He didn't really tell me. He said just for my health, And I think he's doing some juicing, not the legal, not illegal juicing. No, not alleged. But the health juice. He's looking good.
Yeah. Well, no, he's a sharp looking guy. Sharp looking guy with some new babies at home, right? One baby, two babies.
I think he already had one, and it'll be a second.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well. Trying to think back to Kleiman yesterday and what was most interesting. I mean, I think one of the things that Kleiman I thought was great yesterday. Yep. I've almost found him to be better in a way after losses because he's just so forthcoming and honest. And I'm still not used to how we ask a question, right? And let me think of an example of what I asked yesterday, where I asked.
I don't know if it was you, but I'm thinking of Joe Irvin right away. Somebody asked Joe Irvin, it's yeah, he's suspended.
Right, he did go into he was suspended. But even when you're asking a question that you're getting at something, and typically you can't just really come out and say it, or at least most people don't, to the coach, but he knows exactly where you're going with it. Okay, so I asked how big of a role has emotion and energy played in wins and losses in games on Saturday, and he said, yeah, look, like we talked to the team about, we had some energy at times, so we didn't sustain it very well on Saturday, and like, yeah, we talked to him about it. We need to get better at that. That's an example of, instead of what used to happen is he would know exactly what you're getting at and then move away from it. But Kleiman knows exactly what you're getting at and just leads you right into what you're really asking, which maybe I should just come out and say, like, hey, did you guys not have enough emotion? But I try and leave him
closer to being allowed.
I try and leave him some latitude to do that, and he takes it and just answers it like exactly what he knows you're getting at. And that happened a bunch of times over and over, because typically after a loss, you're trying to be a little bit delicate with some of that stuff.
No doubt.
And Kleiman just takes it head on.
I remember that question. Now you bring it up, because the first thing he said back to you was, you said something like, yeah, should it matter or doesn't matter? And he said, well, it better, or something like that, or it needs to, or we need it to. Because I was expecting still to hear kind of coach speak that says something more like, and I'm not talking about Bill Stein, I'm talking about coach speak, like that says something like, yeah, but it's about execution, or yeah, but it's about that. And so it is always cool to hear a guy say, well, it does matter. Yeah, we better play with emotion and that kind of stuff. So I thought that was interesting to hear, like the Joe Irvin thing, just being straightforward about that. That suspension and him being back was interesting to me. So, yeah, I know we're in game, week 13, game 11, whatever, but we still are a little bit surprised and taken back by some of the things he says. And just because we're getting used to it doesn't mean we can no longer show appreciation for it or talk about it. And, yeah, after a loss, I would argue he probably is a little bit better. After a win, he kind of goes into humble mode and, we've got to get better at this, and there's a lot to get better at. We have a lot to do, and that's great. I'm not making fun of that. But
after a win, you want him to just be like, oh, yeah, look at us.
Right. After he's much more accountable after a loss and more willing to admit things than he is like celebrating and praiseful after a win, which is probably good. Again, that's probably what you want. But from a media perspective, it's almost easier to cover after a lot. That's interesting we bring that up. Yeah. We don't want him to lose. That's not the point.
Right.
No.
But I appreciate how he conducts himself after a loss. 3rd and 22, he said that it was a coverage bust. He didn't throw anyone particular under the bus, but said it was not following the scramble drill or scramble rules that they have, that they practice on a weekly basis. So, I mean, that was a moment of honesty, I thought. I mean, I think everybody basically knows what happened on the 3rd and 22. Not who specifically or whatever, but it was a bust. I mean, you don't get that wide open on 3rd and 22 without something going pretty horribly wrong.
And that's why this loss, if you're a K-State fan or a K-State player today and coaches, sucks, to be quite honest. Any loss sucks. Game could have gone both ways. If you're a West Virginia fan, I bet you can find 5 plays that you felt like you were close hitting and didn't hit. The problem is that, they have 2 plays like that. The play Kurtz is talking about, when you go 3rd and 22, and instead of getting off the field, you give up 7. And then the play where they line up, legally on a field goal, and they get off the field there too, give up 7. So these aren't, those, they got this play, then 6 more plays and scored. Those were 2 plays that put 14 points on the board. That wouldn't have been there otherwise. So, John may disagree. I don't know if he's going to. I thought the team still seemed more hurt about this loss today on Wednesday than they did Texas on Tuesday last week. And that's okay. I'm not criticizing, but if you're wondering, does this one burn him more? Yeah, it does.
It definitely does. Even Landry Weber, who's the ultimate kind of coach speak team guy, he said oh yeah, this one stings a lot more. This one sticks with you. So yeah, I mean they said the right things after the Texas game, and that it really hurt. But I think Landry even said today, it still felt to us like we were on the right track, and it was, there were some positives coming out of that. That is not what they're feeling now. So I think there's a better chance of you getting this pissed off, angry K-State team on Saturday than what you had with this West Virginia.
No doubt about it, because I think they felt like they were not pleased with the outcome of Texas. Obviously, they were very hurt. We saw them all post game, but I think they felt like they played a fine, okay football game, and in old school term, they probably got better that day. You know what I mean? They didn't feel like that against West Virginia, and that's not to disrespect West Virginia, but that's the difference. So I don't think you're going to see any issue with emotion this week or playing hard. That won't be a problem in Lubbock. The game, I think, is going to be a tricky game, of course, but it's not going to be a problem of preparation or playing hard, because I think they're probably the most angry they've come off all year to me.
How confident are you in the game on Saturday?
I'm not. I mean, if I'm being honest, I picked Tech on the Casto show yesterday.
What?
I did. What? Now listen. I said on the show, I don't want to go back through it and actually do the work, because it'd be really embarrassing. But I'm pretty sure I might be 3-8 on K-State picks this year. So it doesn't matter what I say. In fact, it probably goes the other way. So I picked the Red Raiders. Just because I'm a big, similar-ish teams. Give me the home team, the one that's not traveling really far, night game in Lubbock, yada, yada, yada. I think K-State's the better team. I think if they put a neutral field 10 times, K-State's winning 7 or 8 of them. But I just took Tech probably to spoil it for the Red Raiders and up K-State winning.
Reverse jinx.
Exactly.
Reverse psychology. Jinx. Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I honestly feel pretty good about how K-State will respond and where K-State is at. And I'm trying to be positive guy right now because there have been so many waves and ups and downs throughout the season. And every time you think you have them figured out one way or the other, they pop you back the opposite way, whether it's been for good or for bad. So I'm going to lean that route, and maybe it's wishful thinking that K-State will win that game on Saturday. But, man, I don't know. Texas Tech, to be honest, I've not watched very much Texas Tech this year. West Virginia, I had not watched very much West Virginia before last week going in. So, I'm kind of in the dark when it comes to that. Obviously, I have this Jet Duffy thing. I like Jet Duffy, but I don't know too much about Texas Tech.
Would you like him as much? Would you like him as much if he didn't have the cool hair coming out of his helmet?
I mean, it would lessen it, but I would still.
I like that part of it a lot.
No, I love his hair.
For me, that's a big part of it. I think it's great.
Yeah, no, you're not wrong to say that at all. I do love the hair. Do you want to give a quick basketball take?
I think we should
before we get out of here.
Yeah, we were over there in Bramlett, just across the street.
It's been the last 3 weeks have just been. I feel like I haven't slept or been in my apartment for the last 3 weeks.
It has gone fast.
That's. I mean, boy, I love K-State football and I love the way the season has gone, and it's been more fun and all of that. But I am very much looking forward to getting to next week, enjoying some Thanksgiving, enjoying some not going on the road 11 hours anymore. I'm very much looking forward.
I thought on the way driving today to the presser, it kind of hit me the first time. Well, I guess today was the last Wednesday availability.
Yeah, it was. Yeah,
because next week they're doing, I think, just Tuesday. We were told today. I mean, so it not to get all corny and sappy, but it is crazy. I mean, we've done this now. What was that? 12, 13 weeks. Probably meeting with those guys, and that's it for this year. Last road trip, except for the bowl game this year, and it has been a lot of fun, and I've loved it. And I love the time where they cross over because everything goes so fast. I mean, in football, basketball, because my weeks and days go so fast. But on the flip side, they do go fast, and the day's over and it's gone. That kind of stuff. But it's been fun. And watching hoops, last night and everything. We've talked to basketball, I feel like.
Yeah, I mean, it's not been a real pretty thing to watch so far. There's no denying that. Now, they've had some moments and halves. I mean, the second half of the North Dakota State game, the second half of the Monmouth game, were pretty damn fun to watch. But outside of that, it has been pretty rocky, which is to be expected. I mean, Bruce made the point last night, kind of just in response to my question about, hey, was this another slow start? He kind of more or less just said, it's some growing pains right now. So the team practiced really well, and they expected to come out and just blow the doors off of Pine Bluff last night, right? Pine Bluff. They didn't, and then got frustrated when that didn't happen. That's understandable. I mean, you have Cardi trying to do new things. He's dishing out all these assists, but they need to score more. Xavier Sneed actually has been fairly consistent. But then outside of that, it's just a lot of new guys and new faces and new roles trying to figure things out. K-State has almost always started slow under Bruce Weber, so I'm definitely very much in the hey, let's have some patience camp. But I will admit, last night was one where it was just it left you unsatisfied. Come on, man. This is Ken Palm's number 200.
It was
42.
342.
Or 340. I'm sorry, 342. Yeah, they're not a good team. Not a good team at all. And it was come on, just put your foot on the gas a little bit more. And that never did happen. So last night, I'm getting impatient. I'm preaching patience, but I'm getting impatient. And it doesn't really matter because it's feet to the fire coming up on Monday against Pitt anyway. So there's going to be no time for patience or impatience. It'll happen one way or the other.
I know I see both sides of things a lot, but I really do here too. I understand if you're watching this team as a fan and saying, "Oh my gosh, this is concerning to me," because last night we played maybe the worst team in Division I college basketball, and we're tied at halftime and never really blew them out. And Monmouth was close for a long time. North Dakota State close. I mean, I understand it. What I would say though, and I'll admit first, I am a homer for this program. I'm probably more of a fan of that program, and it involves my opinion sometimes. What I would say is go pull up, and we talked this before, every non-conference schedule for the last 8 years. Teams that went to the Elite Eight, that won the Big 12, whatever, they're losing Northern Colorado at home. They're beating Prairie View by 2. They're losing. They're down last year by 20 to Southern Miss at home. I mean, this is not new. It's never been an indicator of their success, meaning great starts or bad starts. You can't go back and look and say, go look at the freshman Marcus Foster team, how bad they were early in the season, and then they were an 8 seed in the tournament, beat KU, won 10 games. You know, I mean, it's not an indicator. This team might be bad, but you're not going to be right about it because they were bad against Monmouth, because it hasn't been an indicator of the past. I think this team will still be good defensively. I think they're going to struggle offensively all year. I think when Bruce, and I'm stealing this from the board, I didn't have this thought myself, a smarter guy did. When Bruce is talking about helping them, like they're going to run more sets on offense in games that matter, in games that need to find points. They're not running any sets right now. I'm not worried yet, but if you're watching it and you are worried, like John is a little bit, or like fans, like you're not crazy. They haven't looked good through 4 games. So I could see both sides of this.
You know anything about Pitt?
DeJuan Blair went there back in like 07 and instead of joining that class.
Yeah.
Marino got drafted there out of 84.
Tony Dorsett.
Yep. They have really nice uniforms when they wear the blue and yellow. I think they look really good. I've been to their stadium. I've been to Heinz Field before. Outside of those facts that are pretty helpful, no. They did get blown up by West Virginia last week, didn't they? Because, you know, the old Pitt West Virginia game they played. I think West Virginia beat like 15 or something last week, I think. So that's how I'll study more before Monday.
All right. Well, if you have any questions that didn't get answered here, just hit us up on Twitter, JL Kurtz, at Matthew_D_.
I need a shorter.
You get that right?
Yep, you nailed it though.
Okay. Hit us up on Twitter if you have questions. Thanks for watching. We'll see you.
I tried to free. Oh.